Akal, you all are watching me at Punjab Kesari Navodaya Times, and with me, I have with me, like who else you want when you have such versatile and talented professionals of the Indian film industry? Well, I'm talking about one man who is a visionary and who always leaves us taking a deep dive into all his projects he worked on to, from starting from I Am Kalam to Kala Handi to Kadvi Hawa, and now I'm sure to Jengaburu Curse also. Yes, he's none other than National Award winning director, filmmaker, producer also. Yes, he is Mr. Neela Madhav Panda. Welcome, sir. We have very beautiful, very bubbly, a witty personality who you can see that her charm, her energy can bring like energy to any kind of a situation and atmosphere. Thank you so much for being with us. Well, welcome to Punjab Kesari Navodaya Times. So we have very pretty Faria Abdullah. Welcome. And we have one man who we have always seen playing different variety of genres or characters, especially when it comes to grey characters. I think that comes naturally to him. So I'm going to ask, my first question would be that from him. Welcome, Mr. Nasir. Thank you so much for joining us, sir, and welcome. Well, first of all, I want to ask you, when greed becomes limitless, it turns into a curse. Now that you are like bringing such a subject, such bold subject onto OTT platform, and this is since your debut on OTT, if I'm not wrong?
Yeah.
So how was that like bringing this subject? Also, how did you conceive this story? And all your subjects you work on too, you always make us think about that.
You started with question, I'll reply in question first. So, there's nothing bold, why, this is very interesting in cinema, that when we really speak hard truth to yourself, you say it's bold. Okay, we all say, I'm not saying it's the truth. And we somehow in cinema, we try to get away from the truth. Okay, like rightly you read the curse line, it's invented in this series which we are claiming as first cli-fi series in this country. Okay, a cli-fi, why we are saying cli-fi, why you have the curse word? Curse is generally from age old, it's an age old world. Abhisap hoti hai, Ramayana, Mahabharata, har jagah dekhte the. But abhisap kya hai? It is simply you create that human created their own curse because of our own wrong deed. Okay, when you say, wrong deed, and to bring that wrong deed, like a lot of people ask me, what is the most difficult part of your filmmaking in this, So, seeing from this poster to the teaser, the most difficult part is to write in your screenplay without character. When you write about the subtext, which is the main, one way you can say it's subtext, other way you can say that that's the main Buddha. How do you write nature as character graph? How do you write nature as emotion? Which plays a major role in the Jengaburu curse. So it is the curse, it is the nature which imbibe into a thriller. Okay, which is why we say it's a new genre, cli-fi.
Yeah, it has not.
And many people probably follow that. You will follow that. But bringing such a story, yes, coming to boldness is how we say, how you become naked yourself in front of the mirror and say that, God, I have done this sin, forgive me. So we don't allow ourselves even now to say that word called forgiveness. So the show will come in a way, will hit your head and say that you better now say sorry to yourself, nobody else, because that's what we are suffering. Look at the heat waves, look at the floods, look at the temperature rise. Everything is right here, we are suffering. So you from Punjab Kesari, from a national newspaper, to us putting in a national platform with such great talents.
Absolutely.
I think this is a very important show of our time. That is the boldness, and we all should dare to say that. So journey so far is making it. Right now the larger journey is how the world will see it, not only India. We are looking at that.
Absolutely, sir. Now coming to you, Nasir sir, as I said that we have almost like seen you, mostly you have played characters which are like having a grey shade into that. How difficult is that for you to make the audience love you and hate you at the same time on screen?
That is the great credit you can get. That is a great credit you can get. I remember, I'll tell you two incident. You know, in South, I'm much, they used to curse as if I'm, you know, really bad man.
है ना?
Yes, a really bad man. My mother used to cry, "Kai kuba villain karta."
Really?
Oh, yes. So they come in the street, they will come and tell her, they will tell her, "What, Bua, tera beta acha maar khata."
डरा था
She
भी
used
तो.
to cry, Nakuba, Nakuba, she used to cry and like that. Once the same thing happened when I took my youngest son. He came one day crying. I said, Abhi, what happened? Why are you crying? Then he said, Illappa, all my you know, friends are teasing me that you get beaten in all the films. One film for my sake, why don't you beat somebody, Papa? Please, Papa.
So sweet.
I said, Abhi, it's not like that. It's all only acting. Then I used to take to a fighting scene. You know, I showed him all. See, it is all acting. Nobody is good. Actually, that guy who is beating me, he is bad guy. You know? And so that is the credit. See, when you are a swimmer, you have to be credited. You are the best swimmer.
Of course.
So when I do a villain character, the appreciation is they hate me. Right. When I do something, same. When I do, I did a film called Empton Magan, who's a rural father who doesn't know to show love towards his son. He makes him eat. You do this thing, you do that thing. That is how a rural father can do. After seeing that film, so many people, hundreds of people called me, "Sir, my father was also like that, sir. Sir, you reminded." So, when you like appreciation, you have to appreciate hate also.
And actually, we appreciate all your characters, all your roles on screen because you do it so effortlessly. So, whenever like I think of your characters, so I was like, it comes natural to you or what? Like, because this effortlessness takes a lot of effort, sir.
Yes, of course. I should sincerely, whenever I hear this, I think of my great gurus who made me an actor, Ramanujam sir, Muthuswamy sir, K. Gunashekaran. Because I didn't want to become an actor. That is another story.
Oh,
so
we would
when
love
I
to know
decided,
that.
no, that's a long story.
So you can cut it short and then you can tell.
So actually, I didn't want to become an actor.
Okay,
My
okay.
father had a weird dream that I should become an actor.
Oh wow!
I coming from a lower middle class family in 1970s. I actually thought some job 300 rupees per month will solve all my problem.
Oh wow!
300 rupees then.
That time.
Yeah. So that was my father. No, you have to become an actor. Still, I don't know. Still, becoming actor, becoming popular, it creates so many other problems in a family. So I used to tell my father, why you wanted me to act? Why you wanted me to act? He will say, nahi ba, aisa socha main. Okay, that's the thing. He doesn't have a reason. It's not about you have to become popular. You have to know nothing. He doesn't know the poor man. So whatever when you say when I do effortlessly, immediately Ramanujam sir comes in. Visually he comes in my. When he talks, the saliva will spurt out like that. Even all that I can see. So I believe that a good proper training makes you to do anything. Like a swimmer, like a cyclist, like anybody. You ask them. I had a wonderful coach. That's how I am.
Absolutely.
So I had. But here I don't know because I was not born artist. So when you say effortlessly, I feel very proud. I don't believe in luck. If I believe in luck, there is only thing in my life is I got the best teachers, best friends when I evolving myself.
And I myself, I've been into acting, thoda bahut. So you are inspiring me that much that training makes you perform better and you can become the best if you want to. So, I want to ask you, how overwhelmed were you when you were approached for your character, since you're playing the lead in this?
Very overwhelmed. One call, one flight, one narration, and I was
wow.
I was casted immediately. Yeah, it was very overwhelming. It took me some time to really understand what I was getting into, but by then I had already said yes, so it didn't even matter if I, really knew. But honestly saying, it's been one of the most life-changing processes and journeys for me. Not just as an actor, but as a human as well, because of the themes that we're dealing with, because of the training, as sir said, that I've received from Madhav sir.
The people we met there, the local tribals.
The kind of environment we were set up in, because it was so close to reality, it almost felt like we were going through it right there, right then. And I think throughout the 3-4 months that I was a part of this journey in their expansive 3 years, I feel like it was a dream in some sense, because of the depth of what we all experienced together and what a community, tight community we formed while we were there.
And whenever it comes to Neela sir, there is always a depth into his subjects, all his subjects, I believe.
Has to be.
Yes.
Every scene, line, character, every character, by the way, one character that's just coming and going, patti lagane ke liye bhi, if there's someone there, he has to have some meaning over there, which is so fulfilling. I can't tell you how much I've been waiting for something like this.
Even we have seen those transitions in your characters, of like playing a girl who lives in London, and then she suddenly have to come to Odisha, and then she has to search all these things and making all the research part, and then again. So I was about to ask you how that transition made you feel, and how did you prepare for your character, such an intense character, since you choose to do this?
So, of course, you do realize that while shooting, we don't shoot in a linear format. So, I had to continuously attach and detach myself from information, which was really funny, because we had to keep track of, okay, by this, does she know this, or is she unaware about this? By this, has this affected her? Has this, incident happened in her life? So, of course, it was a slightly stressful management process of the whole thing. But emotionally, I feel like I was able to deliver as much as it was required. In fact, I sometimes gave it a little extra. Like, even if it was not needed, I would just stay in that zone for hours, and I would just feel miserable for days, and because the pain was that strong, it really took over me. It really took a lot of me to deliver that. And I'm not complaining. मतलब मेरे को तो इतनी खुशी है ना, मैं आपको क्या बताऊँ. This is just me being excited about it. But yeah, that's the conflicting part of being an artist, I think.
Absolutely it is. अच्छा नीला सर, जब हम बात करते हैं like किसी भी project के लिए collaborate करने की actors के साथ में, so it's the most crucial part, I believe. So how tricky was that for you to do the casting for your particular project for Jengabur?
Well, I never believed that process. As a director, I always think that since I wrote, any of my film documentaries to feature films, I work on my own stories and own subjects. I don't work on other people's subject, and I always feel that I'm the right judge for what to choose, whom to choose. And thankfully, I've been blessed wherever I go and say, because of the kind of character, kind of story I choose, they liked it, This is the first time, because it's a very large production, a lot of characters. And as a process, we went to Mukesh, and I briefed 2 days to him, and he said like, there's such long briefs in terms of story, character, with background, you generally don't do that. A lot of people may not be doing it. And the choices, he took his own time, and wherever he put his hand down, it was like absolutely there. So that's a great job of a casting director who does most of the job as casting, because they're specialized in that. I think it was just right what kind of casting I got for the series, it's incredible.
Absolutely it is. Sir, if I ask you, like, does that make any difference when an actor is also a director? मतलब सेट पे ज्यादा आपका कमांड चलता था या नीला सर?
You are aware that I have directed
Yes,
a few
yes,
films
yes,
also.
definitely.
Actually, I was very clear when I want to write and direct a film, I don't want to act in that film.
Oh, अच्छा.
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't happen. They, for example, the first film I made, Avataram, it's based on a folk art which is dying. So I went to one of my friend, a very popular hero, and went and told the story. Then he said, Naz, as a hero, what is there to do me, Naz? Should I do this? And I said, with this doubt, I cannot make him. If I'd have forced, he would have done. So I was taken aback. Then I did myself. Then after a year, I showed him the film. He said, it's nice. Is this the story you told me? He said, yes, yes, Radhi. Oh, I missed it. So then again, the second film also it happened like that. Now, so even now, I'm very careful that I should not be an actor and director. But it can be. It's very difficult. He knows. So when both of us are acting, we have a combination. When I keep acting, Neela will be watching. No, it is natural for all the directors. So then again, cut, one more. Sorry, I was. So I used to do that. But directing is a very responsible job, very responsible. Because no, I don't know. Now in this kind of project, throughout the day, on the shoot, we will be discussing about this story, this problem, the locals, everything. In most of the mainstream films, I'm sorry, I'm not telling, that's how they work. I'll be engaged as an actor only just before start camera acting.
Achha.
Then I can go and take, hey, biryani, kidhar, that, that pizza, you must try that pizza. All this happens.
So you all love pizza, is it?
No, just telling like
just
that.
asking.
But whereas a director, he is 24 hours engaged.
Yes.
24 hours. Even after the pack-up only, he becomes more tensed.
For the next sequence.
Because while you are shooting a film, you are in reality. Okay, he is acting, he is getting cut, one more this
On
thing.
his toes always.
After cut, go to the room, have a nice bath. Oh my God! Oh, that scene! You cannot call assistant also. What name?
And how many scenes did he reshoot?
That's really worst for me because it literally happens with me, and that's how. If you ask any of my direction team, they got habituated and they understood me much later. But middle of the night, 2 o'clock also I can call that. Look, this was supposedly happen and I wanted to reshoot this after 3 days.
Okay.
You schedule it in that day. But most important, one of the biggest fears, see, direction is not just about a creative job. 60% of it is management.
Yes, absolutely.
Because when you shoot 70, 80 days, okay, you're the captain, okay? So there are a lot of people think, I have always produced my own stuff. This is the first time I worked in a studio, okay? And the producer would come and say that, you don't have to be bothered about this, bother about that. I said, look, in this set, I'm everything. Taking care of health of a sport boy, to the tribals eating or not. Because there is much more to emotion than just flourishing out in the character, okay? One, it's also when you work for 3 to 4 months, there is a bigger thing which I believe is the mental health, okay, which nobody considers because that's what drives you to get to see what you see in the screen. I have had suffering because of that. This has happened with Kadvi Hawa for me, for example. At 4 o'clock, I wanted at 4:15 to this scene to happen, okay? So I played lot of jokes, lot of games for a good whole night because if any of the actors sleeps, they won't be able to give that same thing what I wanted in the morning. And this is the same thing happened here. Here, apart from the actor, imagine what I said about the management. There were hundreds of villagers, tribal people we brought into the screen.
The local people.
Okay. you have to have a different exercise for them. So it means it is so much of you give yourself to those people so that they get motivated, because that's what Raj Kapoor Saab said na, sab screen mein dikhta hai beta.
Absolutely.
So your honesty will be seen
Camera
on the
captures
screen.
everything.
Everything. So that's what I'm saying. You see every frame, it's that effort.
That's
It's physical, mental, emotional, everything. And still you cannot say that I'm drained. Still you cannot say that I'm tired.
And still girls can't hide their age on camera because camera captures everything.
Doesn't even matter.
No,
Really doesn't matter.
As they age, they
Just a
become
number
more
when it comes to
beautiful.
acting especially.
No, I think as they age, they become more beautiful.
Graceful, beautiful. Yes, absolutely. Even I want to talk about the language barrier also to both of you. Since you have worked into Telugu much, pretty good work in South. And since we have seen you, we have grown seeing you working in different languages, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, and even in Hindi as well. But I've heard about that Hindi is a task for you, but I personally believe that you must have been a topper in your school time, right?
No.
Because you are a very good learner when it comes to languages.
No, because no, I was an average, above average. I could have been the top, but I was playful and
Okay.
yes, I first, because as actors, as serious actors, we work on emotions first.
True that.
We work on emotions first. Why I am talking to, so why I am angry with Faria, why because she told that, why did she say that? We go totally, we know the process of the emotion how it's flowing. Then it becomes easy to put words for that.
Yeah.
Because mugging up dialogue and very conscious about telling the dialogue, I don't know, I was not taught like that. First I have to, then your mind will get the correct words what is being given. That's how I work. That's
your process.
Yeah, that's my process. So it becomes easy for me. So even if you give Spanish, I can do
Oh,
that.
wow.
Yeah, because emotions are the same. No?
Yeah.
Only the words are that. Of course, when I have an habit when I do Malayalam film or a Telugu film or this thing in the beginning. Now I am good at Telugu. Now all the languages I dub myself. So what I do in the beginning, what I did, it is not just going to Malayalam film and act in Malayalam, dub but Malayalam. No. I want to know beyond that. I read their literature.
Okay.
If I go to Kannada, I read the translation of the, very important, not the popular writing, very serious writer. Same thing when I go to Kannada or when I come to Hindi in the beginning. So I feel comfortable that I know you.
Even their culture helps you?
Yeah, I know you. It's not only as a co-actor who can exchange dialogues, but I know something more than that. That's how I got prepared. And it becomes very easy for me and confident for me. And now I had to better myself in Hindi. Now all these characters I did, they were gracious enough to change my character as South Indian one. Because I have a very strong South Indian accent in it.
Achha, may I ask you, what is your most favorite Hindi dialogue that you've ever said on screen? Anyone?
Tough. I'm sorry,
You could not recall.
I could not recollect immediately. But I had lot that kind of the so-called punch dialogue we call it in Tamil. There were some dialogues like that in Rowdy Rathod.
Yes.
I used to people they used to ask that particular dialogue. Babji, you tell that dialogue. They will ask. At that time, I used to tell. There is one great Hindi dialogue I remember. Sorry, thank you. Nobody else can. In a very great film, where Kamal Sir was there, Amrish Puri was there. One of the great dialogue, which I felt very tough to by heart and tell. You know what it is? Ba ba boo boo. In Chachi it's also BS. That is the only thing I remember.
I thought you were going to say something better.
No, I knew he's going to say something like
She was already aware about
because
that.
he's giving so much this thing importance, like a very important dialogue actually.
मुझे लगा कि पता नहीं क्या आने वाला है वहाँ से.
See, he still makes me fool.
Cha.
So if I ask you your process as an actor, as he told us, so what is that?
So I, originally belonged to the Telugu industry, but I, also almost finished a Tamil project. So it's very similar. जैसे sir ने बोला कि you don't just have to learn the language to connect with the people. You have to understand where they come from, the history, the culture, and
The emotions. Basically.
yeah. So even while I was taking classes for Tamil for that film, parallelly I was trying to understand why Tamilians are they have so much pride about their language, their culture. Malayalis too, so I wanted to understand where that comes from. Tamil is one of the oldest languages in the world, and I was reading books about it and trying to gain knowledge from everywhere possible. So I think even now if Sir says something in Tamil to me, I feel happy that he's talking to me in Tamil because he feels that somewhere he can connect with me on that level. I think it's similar that if he talks to me in Telugu, also like I feel like he probably feels similar way that we can connect on the same plane like that. But घर पे तो we speak in Dakhni, which is Hyderabadi Urdu.
Yes.
So that's not very far from Hindi. And
You're from Hyderabad.
I'm from Hyderabad, yeah. So Hindi has not been a challenge for me like that. In fact, I was very excited that coming to this project, it's not going to be a very difficult task for me to learn dialogues. In fact, जब set पे dialogue change होता, I would be like,
ये तो मेरे बाएं हाथ का खेल है.
मैं तो ये improv में बोल दूँगी. तो little
Improvisation भी करती हो as an actor आप, है ना?
हाँ मैम हम थिएटर
yes,
से है ना तो थिएटर डांसिंग ये सब इट्स द प्राइमरी फाउंडेशन ऑफ फ्री स्टाइल डांसिंग इज इम्प्रोवाइजेशन. सो वो ऐसे अंदर से आता है
ना. और मुझे लगता है नीला सर के साथ जब काम करते हैं तो सबको उतना लिबर्टी तो मिलता ही है, that creative
yeah,
liberty that you
yes.
can have.
Oh yeah, heavy, yeah.
See, sometimes what happens, sir, what sir, you're such a senior actor, you do something, sir. If they say like that, suddenly you feel like, oh my God,
अब तो करना ही पड़ेगा.
I'm naked. They don't give information. Sir, you are a rich father, sir. You are opposing. You do, sir. No, tell something. Sir, what, sir? When they say like that, it is thing. But Nilama though, like actually any sensible director, they will, like telling a child, they will give all the direct, indirect information. So we feel comfortable. So with all this thing, we have to reproduce. That's what you see in this. It's not me or Faria. You see all the tribals, how they have acted.
Definitely.
It is because that information so nicely he gives.
And that is because you are also from Odisha, I believe. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, but it's an art,
Your native place,
to tell a story, you tell through the characters, and you have to invest it enough to the character, then only you can portray that on the screen.
And even you're from an engineering background, वो भी influence करता है filmmaking में क्या?
No, I'm from zero background. I'm failed in graduation. I'm not even a graduate. So.
Okay, so अभी मुझे लगता है वहाँ से ऐसा आने लगा है ना कि बस हाँ.
Yeah, I can feel it here.
Okay, so your words for the viewers for this Cli-Fi series, India's first Cli-Fi series on OTT, from you starting.
Well, the Jengaburu Curse, 7 episodes, hard hitting, climate change, thriller, will take you to another level in terms of its visual, music, characterization, and the story itself, which will connect each of us to the core of your soul. Watch it on 9th August on
Sony Live.
ये लो, दोनों की तरफ से एक ही आ गया, एक ही बार में. Thank you so much all of you talking to us on Punjab Kesari Navodaya Times. And one last time I'll say, please do watch on 9th of August Jengaburu Curse, because you're going to get so much, because there are a lot of talented people from the industry that you're going to see. And yes, thank you so much for watching us on Punjab Kesari Navodaya Times. See you next time in the next one. Thank you.